Now by the end of this video, I want you to tell me if this is a self-unalivement, murder, or just an incident. It happened on accident. Now there's a few things that I need you to understand that's very important. There's this family, Molly, which is the wife, or girlfriend I should say, Clay, which is the boyfriend, and they had 2 kids. One is an older boy, he's 4 years old, and one is a younger girl. She's just 1. Just a little baby. Like, imagine me having my little baby like this and like looking at her or him. I just wanted to tell y'all that I love each and every one of y'all who really consistently send y'all snacks. This is our little movement that we have going on. I really don't want to waste no time for this video. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. Go get your snacks. I just started off in your world. There was one night the family was watching TV and Molly said, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna go to sleep. She was tired, so it was around 10 p.m. around that time. So she goes upstairs, she lays down, and just right when she was about to fall asleep, she heard the front door open. I guess it got a loud squeak. She heard it close, and she heard her car, which is their car, turn on and leave. Now Clay did tell his girlfriend, I will go see my mom later on tonight. So she knew that that was her boyfriend getting ready to leave to go see his mother. But things took a turn. Now Molly falls asleep. The next morning she opens her eyes. She feels that it's empty. She didn't wake up next to her boyfriend. Now this was completely off for her. He should be back by now. He's been out all night. So I guess she thought maybe he slept by his mother. But then she tells herself, no, this couldn't be. She gets up out of bed and she looks to see if he's downstairs, but first she looks out the window to see if the car is parked outside, but the car was not parked outside. So this is when she starts to panic. So she hurry up, she picks up the phone, she calls the mother and she says, hey, yeah, so my boyfriend last night, he said he was gonna stop by your house. He wanted to see his mom. Is he there? She said, no. Matter of fact, last night, he didn't even come. I didn't even know that he was even coming to stop by. So Clay did not come last night. What happened that night for him to just vanish? And not even say a word to his girl after. Now here's where it's about to get tricky. As both of the girls is on the phone, they know that Clay have to drive this 40-mile road that have a lot of twists and turns and a lot of accidents. It's on this road, some of them being deadly. Now both of the girls, they ask themselves, did Clay possibly get into an accident and that's why we can't get in touch with him and that's why he never arrived to the mother's house? These are what both of the girls are asking each other. Molly, the girlfriend, the mother could hear that she's panicking in her voice, so she tells her to calm down. I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna go check to see if we can find Clay, if he's okay or if he's in an accident. Stay with your kids, keep them calm, don't even tell them nothing. Something along those lines was said on the phone. She hangs up, she gets in her car and she drives this 40-mile road. Halfway, or not even halfway, she can see that police tape is everywhere, police flashing lights is everywhere around the scene. She knew something bad happened, so she gets up closer to it. Her heart automatically drops because she believes that this is her son. She gets out the car, and as she walks closer up to the scene, she can see a lot of smoke coming out in the air. When she gets close enough, the police stops her. She's trying to look her head just to see if that's Clay's car, so she pushed the cops out the way because she's frustrated, sad, mad at the cops. She's feeling all of this at the same time, and she sees that this car is burning in flames. Now what she tries to do is get a better description of the car in her head just to see if this is my son's car. Now around this time, the fire was still being put out, so the mother, she immediately gets back in her car to go pick up Molly. Once she pick up Molly, they go back to this scene. Now the fire is put out and they can see the car. Now them looking at the car, they knew immediately that this is the car that Clay was driving. Once the fire was completely put out and the car cooled down, they opened the car and they knew that a body was in the driving seat. The body in this car was burnt so bad that it looked like it's been dead. Here's a better way that I can explain it so you can understand. All you can see is just skeleton. 'Cause two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. They ask, how do you think this car crash even happened? Because there's no skid marks of the car driving straight to the trees.
The vehicle did not leave the roadway at a high rate of speed. It slowly rolled down, and around the area there wasn't much fire damage, so it didn't burn for a long time.
Because as firemen was saying it, they was like, yes, fires happen when car crashes happen, but it was nothing like this. It was never a fire like this in an accident. So what could have caused a fire like this in this type of accident? Around this time, this is when they believed that maybe this is probably not a car accident. Maybe this is a murder, but they didn't know for sure.
Nobody had a nice word to say about him, and it's kind of unusual at a funeral that that nobody would say anything nice.
Now it turned out that there was lighter fluid all over the car, so this fire was purposely made. And doing the autopsy of this body, they knew that he was dead before the fire even started. Now Clay ended up having a funeral.
And he said probably everybody was halfway drunk by the time that the funeral was over. It was something weird.
And at this funeral, one of his best friends or close buddy said that this world would be a better place without Clay. This is crazy. As a matter of fact, the people around this city hated Clay because they said this guy always picks fights. He has this attitude. So did somebody have a problem with him and wanted him gone? We don't know yet. Clay, matter of fact, had a charge. He had some other issues going on in his life. He assaulted a 7-year-old. Now this father of the 7-year-old girl wanted to murder Clay. Of course, this father was mad because of what he done to his daughter, and they questioned the dad, this daughter, and he said, yes, I did want to murder him. Yes, I did not like him, but I did not murder this guy. I have nothing to do with his death at all. The cops set him to the side and kind of ruled him out, but then that's when word got out. Maybe he just unalived himself because of this case that he did with the girl, with the assault, and he don't want to serve his time, so therefore he went out a way that nobody expected. But when they went to go interview Molly, they noticed something very, very strange, and this took a turn for everything. When they interviewed Molly and they went to her house and they went in her kitchen to go talk to her, they asked her a couple of questions, and at first they knew when this first happened, she was very upset and she was mad that this happened to her husband. But then when they asked her a certain question, her mood completely changed. They asked her, who do you think murdered your husband? She says, well, she gets impatient and irritated a little bit. She says, well, I think that he was depressed and he didn't want to deal with that situation with that girl, so he unalived himself. I don't want to deal with these questions no more. I think that you should leave. She was done after that question. They got a whole different vibe of Miley. Once the cops got out, they didn't even question nothing. They didn't even say wait, they didn't say hold up. The cops just got up and left the house. They looked at each other and it was like, did you get that weird vibe from her just now? And the other cop was like, yeah, I got that weird vibe from her just now. They got in the car, and this is when they decided to keep watch on Miley every single day, just to try to see what clues they can get from this whole case. There's a ghost. Y'all seen that? That just scared me just now. That just scared me. Okay, so Molly looked very suspicious to all the police and investigators. So they discovered something. There was $100,000 life insurance policy that Molly was entitled to. And she was calling every single day so she can get this money claimed to her. People around the neighborhood knew that she was happy to get this money because she would tell them. And then there was a friend who was close to Molly. She said that Molly, she started dating again when she was questioned. And that was just 3 weeks after the death. She started dating again. Now, this boyfriend would actually live with Molly after 3 weeks of her husband boyfriend dying. Remember, they have 2 kids, a daughter and an older son, which is 4 years old. And this 4-year-old son would be so mad with this new boyfriend. Did not like him for the simple fact that he was just so close with Clay and couldn't have another father immediately and couldn't even treat this person like another father. Immediately, the kid would just become so frustrated with this new man just walking around the house and trying to become a dad. Did not like it at all. Now, remember when I said the cops would literally watch her every movement for days on days on days and days, and they knew that her schedule was she'd get up out of work, bring her kids to school, probably stop to the grocery stores some days, pick up her kids and go home, stay home. That was basically her regular routine every single day until one day, just this one day, that all stopped. When they decided to go watch her this certain day, she didn't go pick up the kids. She didn't drop off the kids. She didn't go to the grocery store. Everything was different. She gets in her car, leaving her house, and the police follow her to this parking lot, this big parking lot that she drives to. And they stay further back watching her so they don't know that she's being followed. But by the way, these are undercover cops that look completely like normal civilians. And they noticed when she got out the car in this parking lot, she went to go walk to this Mustang. When she walked to this Mustang, she got in. And they drive off. So the undercover cops, they followed her and they stopped at a Taco Bell. And then that's when the undercover cops decided to go in Taco Bell because they knew that they was about to eat inside of Taco Bell. And then the cop, as he was standing in line, he did like a turn like this just to get a little glance of them. Just to not be suspicious, not to be odd. He just like went like this just to get a little glance. And his eyes turned big. Undercover cops. He tapped his buddy who was with him because his undercover cop was with another buddy. Tapped him and was like, look at this. So he walked up close to the guy and he came up to the table that Molly and his person was in. He showed him the badge and he said, I'm an undercover cop, and things went left. Who they saw was Clay and Molly at this Taco Bell eating like nothing ever happened, because what had happened was Clay and Molly staged his death. And that body that was found in a car during the fire was actually a person that they dug up and put in a car. So this was already a skeleton, and that's why it looked so odd to the firemen. And they wonder, how did this person look like this after the fire? It was already a body that they dug up from a grave. All he did to disguise his identity was dyed his black hair blind. Remember, the 4-year-old, he was convinced that his dad died, and this is why he was frustrated. Then he was looking at this man, and this man kind of looked like his dad, but the mother was completely saying that this is not your dad. I do want to say that this is not the 4-year-old real dad, Clay. He's not the real father, he's the stepfather, but the kid looked at him as a real father. So basically, he was the father for the 4-year-old. So they lied to their kids. Like, are you serious? And seeing that everybody around the community was actually happy that he died because of how rude he was. But why? Like, what the? Because I just realized y'all live together. What was up with that meeting up at the parking lot thing? What the? Because that's what got them caught. If they would have never done that, they probably would have never got caught till this day. This happened back years ago, I think 2004. Y'all was still living together. Y'all couldn't have a meeting at home? Yeah, y'all. Crazy case. Oh, and I can't forget, shout out to all the editors that's on Instagram. I see y'all and I love y'all. Fuck.
Hey, Dad!